it has to be the wave of revolutions that swept the Arab world in 2011, the so-called Arab Spring. It was amazing to go to those countries, Libya, Yemen, Tunisia, and see people coming out onto the streets for the first time, really trying to make a change.
We will make America great again.
I remember the night Donald Trump won the U.S. presidency. I was on the air at 3 in the morning, and I don't think anyone in the newsroom thought it could really happen until we saw the states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin fall. Since then, of course, there's been a lot to talk about with the Trump presidency, particularly all those tweets.
Over the past few years, we've really seen how the internet, social media can help spread out false information and really mislead people. Every single day you've got memes, pictures, videos taken out of context that are shared millions of times on Twitter, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and that's really brought us, unfortunately, into this post-truth world where facts matter a lot less than personal opinion and emotion for a lot of people.
The story that's marked me most over the past 10 years is the kidnapping of the Chibok girls. And why it marked me is because it was one of the first Twitter campaigns, an international campaign, Bring Back Our Girls, really revealed the truth of what had actually happened, because the Nigerian authorities were very ready to deny it. They denied it to us here at Radio France International. But that international campaign, backed by the likes of Malala and Michelle Obama, really let the international community know what had happened.
To me, it was really the attack on Charlie Hebdo. There was a before and an after that moment, and I realized that all of the world had its eyes on France, and we had to be very careful to explain what was happening here. And in a way, it kind of sparked the idea for the show that I present now, French Connections, where we explain the intricacies of life in France.
A shame on you.
Teenage activists took grown-ups to task, speaking out passionately about gun violence in the United States. Some, like Samantha Deach, a 15-year-old survivor of a mass shooting at a school in Parkland, Florida, wrote poetry. I sat in a closet, scared and confused, as our Second Amendment rights were being abused. No one needs an AR-15, unless it is to kill and injure over 17.
What struck me in the years 2010 in Latin America is the wave of conservative politics, ultra-conservative politics, where you have seen religious groups, whether Catholic or evangelical, taking a huge importance in society and leading to new, very right-wing governments in Latin America.
One of the most memorable days for me at France 24 was definitely the aftermath of the Brexit referendum. I'd asked to come in early that day because I knew the results were going to come in around 7 o'clock Paris time, but at the end they called it when I was in the taxi, so slightly earlier than planned. So I arrived and my colleague, she just couldn't believe it, the result. I couldn't believe it either. The whole day was just surreal. I had to announce all the reactions. Everybody from Sinn Féin to Marine Le Pen reacted. Then, of course, we had David Cameron's announcing his resignation. I don't think it actually sunk in until later in the day.
The Black Lives Matter was really a really important moment of this decade. I mean, we'd never seen such a turnout of such a mobilization of people protesting against police brutality. It really stood out for me. It almost felt like a modern day civil rights movement in the States. Really, really important discussion about race relations as well.
So for me, the most memorable story of 2019 and of this decade was when President Trump met Kim Jong-un and entered North Korea, becoming the first sitting US president in history to do so. It was an incredibly special moment because it really marked a departure, a turning point in the two countries' relationship.
Ebola has really gripped the African continent, especially this decade. I saw firsthand in North Kivu in the Democratic Republic of Congo that efforts were thwarted because of miscommunication, because of problems with not understanding local culture and local language, and that has been a major problem in dealing with fighting Ebola.
Since MeToo and Time's Up, as the culture editor, I've been watching the narrative change in film, in literature and in the arts. More stories about women, by women, so empowering.
Ireland's referendum on gay marriage in 2015 was a story really about the goodness in humanity of people voting out of kindness on the principle of equality. And it was a story really all about the brave people who told their private and often very painful stories about what it meant to be gay in Ireland. And the results, the atmosphere the day of the results in Dublin Castle was just incredible, so positive, and a real sense that this could have an effect far beyond the island of Ireland. And being there as an Irish man, as a gay man, seeing all of that really was just unforgettable.
How dare you!
This is really the decade that engraved climate change on the map. When Laurent Fabius banged down his gavel, marking the Paris Agreement, the emotion in the room was palpable, but so was the swell of hope around what this deal might bring. But now it's really this next decade that will be the real test.